The 2024 Mini Countryman JCW is the most powerful production vehicle that Mini has ever made, and it's also the largest. The lineup now has more safety tech than ever before, and also incorporates petrol and fully electric powertrains. But with its almost $80,000 price tag, who exactly is this little luxury SUV aimed at? Mini says that most of the Countryman's buyers will be families, but with its zany looks and its hot hatch road manners, will this one-size-fits-all approach land well with buyers? Let's find out. The Mini Countryman JCW in top spec favoured trim starts from $73,990 before on-road costs. And for that money, you really are getting all the carmaker has to offer in its combustion engine lineup. Standard kit includes a circular 9.4-inch OLED touchscreen, head-up display, Harman Kardon premium sound system, wireless phone charging, as well as Apple CarPlay and Android Auto, and an automatic tailgate with kick function. There's also electric seat adjustment with memory function for the driver, heated front seats, a heated steering wheel, 4 USB-C ports, 2 12-volt sockets, and a panoramic glass sunroof. Although the Mini did take a price cut of almost $2,000 for this model year, its asking price still puts it higher than the roughly equivalent Audi Q3 40 TFSI S-Line, which goes for closer to $70,000. However, it's roughly in line with the BMW X1 xDrive 20i M Sport, which asks $73,400. To find out more about the Countryman's closest competitors, or if you're ready to buy, you can find everything you need at Drive Marketplace. Here I've got the Mini Countryman JCW in top spec favoured trim. It's essentially the same as the rest of the lineup, but with the wick turned up. To make sure there's absolutely no doubt that this is a hot version, there are a number of JCW specific design cues. Some of these include these go fast stripes down the bonnet, some JCW brakes, and some of these horizontal bars here and a redesigned John Cooper Works logo. You've also got fresh LED headlights and a redesigned black octagonal grille. The car we've got here is wrapped in Legend Grey paint, one of 152 exterior paint choices, which is just wild. Then up there on the roof, you've got Chili Red, and that's also there on the mirror caps. 20-inch two-tone flag spoke wheels complete the look, which is kind of a masculine vibe, and it's not one that I would necessarily go for. Lucky there's so many choices and exterior paints, hey? The 9.4-inch infotainment screen in the new Countryman is one of its biggest talking points, for obvious reasons. It's bigger than the 8.8-inch unit on the outgoing model, but it's also circular, its most defining feature, and that is designed to mimic the instrument cluster in classic Minis of old. Housed within it is Mini's operating system 9, which Mini says has been optimised for voice and touch control. However, trying to use it, I found it to be a little bit laggy and just take a little bit too much time to move around the settings. So moving between these ones, you've got to push quite hard to sort of force it to the next feature. And if you're using Apple CarPlay, the phone mirroring will display as a square rather than fill up the full circle, which just feels wrong and uncomfortable on the eye somehow, hindering an otherwise clean and crisp appearance. It's certainly striking, but I'm not really a fan of how it clashes with rather than complements the rest of the interior, which is otherwise quite well executed. What do you think of the new screen? Hit the like button if you're into it, or leave a comment below if you're not. What I do like is the red and black JCW interior styling that runs here along the dash, along the door panels, and on the JCW Sport seats, which are actually pretty comfy as well, if not a little bit stiff on your shoulders on long journeys because of this bolstering down the sides. Here in the cabin as well, we've got this kind of nifty like little box here with a fun little sports strap, which you lift up, and that's kind of there in place of your center console bin because this is just an armrest. You've also got 2 USB-C ports in the front, and you've got 2 decent sized cup holders here, as well as ample space in the doors. As well, you've got wireless phone charging with a nice little holder up here to keep your phone out of the way. The gear selectors here on this little nifty toggle, I guess you could call it, which can be a little bit finicky trying to move up and down through gears, and sometimes you're not always in the one that you want it to be. The other quirky thing that you've got with this Mini is the on-off switch is literally like almost like turning your key from the old days. But it's not a key, it's just, again, like this little toggle just here in the middle. You've also got this little experiences toggle down here, and that's your drive modes. There are 8 of them in total, and I've tried them all out, but honestly, the only ones that really seem to make any difference to your driving performance are go-kart mode, which is like a sport mode, and green, which improves fuel economy for driving range. Being a crossover between a hatch and an SUV, the space here in the back isn't overly generous, but it's definitely enough for 2 child seats on either outboard seat, and also for an average-sized female to sit in the back behind either the driver or the passenger, with plenty of legroom. There are actually, however, quite a few useful pockets of space throughout the back. There are these mat pockets on either side here, and there's also decent space in the doors for a drinks bottle as well. We've got 2 USB-C ports back here, and you've also got rear air vents. The only problem with that, however, is that you can turn them on and off using this little dial, but you can't change the direction in which the air is flowing. So it's kind of just going to hit the middle person, if there is one, or in the face. And over here you might sort of have to duck in to try and benefit from it. There are ISOFIX points just here on both outboard seats, and 3 top tether points. They're accessible from the boot. And you've got this nice little armrest down there and 2 more cup holders. The thing that I found though about the second row is that these seats are quite firm and bench-like, that are very straight. They don't really offer that much support, almost as if they're only expecting children to use them, and like an afterthought, we don't really care that the back seat's not that comfortable. The rear row of seats can also be adjusted for that little bit more either legroom or for extra boot space. So you can drag them forward, there's a lever just here, and you can go 13 centimetres. So I'm obviously losing a lot of legroom there, but I'm going to benefit from having more room in the back. As the biggest Mini ever made, the Countryman offers more space than ever before. It stacks up fairly well in the segment too, with the boot offering 505 litres with all seats up and 1530 litres with the second row down. That puts it roughly on par with the Audi Q3, which is 530 litres, and the BMW X1 that's 540. For that almost $80,000 price tag, once you've incorporated things like drive-away costs, this parcel shelf is a little bit of a letdown. The fact that it's kind of that cheap, hard, cardboardy sort of feeling stuff is really annoying. It's not useful for fitting things like child top tethers, and actually I've taken it out for a lot of the time that I've been with the car, just for ease of fitting things in and out. For a car that would cost this much, you'd be expecting that there'd be a retractable parcel shelf instead. Under the bonnet of the Mini Countryman JCW is a 2-litre turbo petrol 4-cylinder engine, capable of producing 233 kilowatts and 400 newton meters, and that's sent to all 4 wheels through a 7-speed dual-clutch automatic transmission. For 2024, power is up 8 kilowatts and torque is down 50 newton meters. Regardless of that, it's still quick, with Mini claiming a 0 to 100 time of 5.4 seconds. However, predictably with that power comes a higher fuel economy, with other variants rated at 7.6 litres per 100 kilometres. Mini has yet to confirm how much fuel the JCW uses, but on test I've found it to be quite thirsty, even through steady freeway driving, quoting me 9.5 litres per 100 kilometres. If you've been enjoying this video so far, subscribe to our channel to see more cool car reviews like this. The 2-litre turbo petrol turned up for the JCW offers a really punchy performance and makes this Countryman feel more like a hot hatch on stilts than an SUV. In fact, the only real chink in this Countryman's armour is that its hunger to get going is sometimes hampered by a slightly over-keen stop-start function, which makes it a little bit slow to get off the line and can really slow you down in sort of stop-start heavy traffic. A bit like a greyhound being caught asleep at the gate. Driving the Countryman is a really comfortable experience. It's not at all unsettled over even decent-sized bumps and imperfections in the road, and corners are made easy through really well-balanced steering. Even the steering wheel has good grip, but these paddles or grips or whatever you want to call them here are really chunky, which they just don't need to be. Meanwhile, its hot hatch feel is made even more pronounced with its particularly sharp turn into corners, while the brakes are very responsive and even confidence-inspiring. The most entertaining of the experience modes is go-kart mode. Yeah, that noise. It's a little bit fun and it makes it have a more sporty driving experience. And you can hear the noise of the turbo with impressive intensity in the cabin. And whatever mode you're in, the noise from the exhaust is oddly muted. When it comes to safety, the Countryman JCW has Mini's full suite of technology, though this current model is currently untested by ANCAP or even its European equivalent Euro NCAP at the time of recording, and as such does not yet carry a safety rating. The whole Countryman range is equipped with 9 airbags, and there's also a flat tyre indicator as standard and a tyre repair kit included. This generation of Countryman comes with a blind spot alert and lane departure warning, collision warning, autonomous emergency braking, driver attention alert, side door exit warning, speed limiter, parking sensors, adaptive cruise control, and rear cross traffic alert. However, I found the 360-degree camera technology a little muddled, with the view lurching from one view to another, making it difficult to easily maneuver into tight parking spots. And don't forget, if you're interested in buying this car or one of its competitors, head over to Drive Marketplace. This Mini Countryman JCW is definitely a head turner, and despite its increased proportions, it's still recognisable as a Mini. But its looks are quite polarising, which again brings us back to the question, who is this vehicle really for? Its hot hatch performance might make it the obvious choice for young drivers, but really how are they going to stretch to that $70,000 to $80,000 price tag? Then its SUV proportions also might rule it out as a midlife crisis car for those looking to reignite their youth. So is it a family car? Its limited amounts of space make it okay as a daily runaround, performing the usual child drop-off and pick-up duties, but on longer trips it might struggle. It's a Mini that doesn't quite know what it wants to be, a Mini that isn't so Mini anymore. Maybe you like Minis, but the size of the Countryman isn't for you. If so, you can check out our review of the 2025 Mini Cooper SE by clicking up here.